guys, welcome back to Pastor's Point. I am so excited about this episode. I think it's going to be information that you find absolutely interesting and valuable, whether it's you personally or somebody that you might know. We have our guest here with us today. Her name is Trisha Wilson. Hey. Trisha serves as the Executive Director of Pregnancy Resources in Moline and in Davenport.
Correct, yes.
And so she's with us today. And we also have some great news that we'll be partnering. And so we're going to talk about what some of that looks like and the services that they offer. And so, Trisha, welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got plugged into Pregnancy Resources?
Sure. So my family and I have been a part of the Quad Cities for about 20 years.
Wow.
My husband was in the Navy. He was a diver and on a submarine. And when he got out of the Navy, he took a job here in the Quad Cities at the power plant. And that's what brought us to this beautiful part of the country.
Yeah.
He's got family a couple hours away. So this just seemed like a really nice fit for us. Pregnancy Resources came on my radar in 2009. I was attending a local church. I was very involved in children's ministry and family ministry. I led those programs. And my pastor's wife pulled me aside one day and said, Trisha, you are in the church entirely too much. There are people that need Jesus and that need to hear your story that are never going to come through our doors. You need to get plugged in where people are going.
Wow,
and
that's powerful.
Yeah. And she was involved in Pregnancy Resources. She knew some of my backstory. Yeah. And so she said, man, I really think you should just check out this place. This could be a really good fit for you. And so in 2009, I took the volunteer training, started volunteering just a couple of months later. And God has just grown how he has used me in the ministry there over the last 11 years. So it's really
awesome.
Exciting. Yeah.
So what was the big thing that Pregnancy Resources offered that kind of like drew you in and said, I'm hooked, this is for me?
Right. So my mom and dad were 17 and 18 when they got pregnant with me.
Yep.
Very young. Luckily for them, they had a church that came around them and said, we believe in you. We see in your potential. We know that you can do this.
Yep.
Not God's best first choice for your life, but God can honor all things.
Yeah.
And I loved that Pregnancy Resources responds to women and men in this community the same way that my family's community responded to them way back in Phoenix, Arizona, when my life hung in the balance.
Yeah.
Right? And so I loved that I could be a part of a place that says, man, I know life is hard right now, and the things that you're facing are real and they're scary and you feel overwhelmed, but we're here to be there for you. We will come alongside you. We can give you truth. We can trust you to make an informed decision, and we just want to bless you, right? No complications, no judgment, just hope, love, and compassion. And I loved that. I loved what that could look like. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe somebody today is watching, and maybe you found yourself in a situation that you didn't plan for, and you're pregnant and you're scared to death. Maybe you know somebody in that position. Pregnancy Resources can be that community that rallies around them and takes some of that fear and unknown territory out of the equation.
Right. And now, in the last probably 2.5 years, we're seeing more and more married couples that walk through our door.
Wow.
Couples,
no kidding.
Yeah, couples that already have 1 or 2 children, and they're saying, man, we know what it is to be a parent. We know the emotional investment. We know the financial investment, and we're just really not sure what's going to happen. Some of them, families that said, I've been pro-life my entire life. We've been pro-life our entire marriage. But now she's lost her job and he's working 50% of the hours, right?
Wow.
Or they're piecing together several part-time jobs to try and make it work.
Yeah.
And life is hard and life is complicated. And so for the first time in their life, they're saying, man, we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so we get to come alongside those families as well. We get to come alongside the families who say, I'm working 35 hours a week and medical insurance kicks in at 40. So we can come alongside them and give them those pregnancy tests and ultrasounds, some of that early care that is vital and important, that when money's tight and finances are complicated, sometimes that stuff gets put to the side.
Yeah.
And so it is just a blessing to be able to offer that kind of vital vital, urgent help right where people need it in the moment that it's needed.
Yeah. And then for those families, or for those maybe single moms and single dads or
Right.
boyfriends in the mix of this unexpected pregnancy, you guys also offer classes. You offer Bella's Boutique. And there's a number of things other than just the coaching, the ultrasounds that you guys offer as well, right?
Right. So what we say is we're going to partner with you from the time you think you're pregnant until that child is in their toddler years. So early on, right. So early on, it's that free pregnancy test, that free ultrasound, options education, fetal development education.
Yep.
Then it transforms to parenting classes, healthy pregnancy and baby basics care classes, classes for dads on fatherhood and how to take care of your kid in different seasons of childhood, say the 6th season, right? And with those classes come things like free diapers, free brand new car seats, free clothing for your child until they're through a size 3T.
Oh, that's great.
Just looking for ways, Bible studies, Bibles, devotional books, just looking for ways to say, you've made the choice to step up, step in and be a parent, or choose life for your child if you're going to place for adoption. Now, how can we come alongside in practical ways and make this journey a little bit less complicated?
Yeah.
Right? What tools can we put in your toolbox so that you know what to do when life gets complicated with a child? Especially if you're the first of your friend group to have kids. Who are you going to call? Right? I had no one. We were the first to get married. We were the first to have kids. I'd call my friends. They'd be like, good luck with that.
Yeah, let me know how that went because I'll probably have kids someday and you can help me.
That's right. I
remember when we had our first, this has been 19 years ago. I was a young dad and we were trying to have kids though.
Right.
We were in the hospital. They just a couple days after my wife gave birth, they're like, hey, you guys are ready to go home. And I can remember the horror that came over me, that gripped my heart. Fear literally gripped my heart that I got to take them home now.
Right.
And I said, I think we should probably stay one more day because they were taking care of so many of the things. And I'm like, and I literally asked the nurse, I said, do you have like a manual? And they're like, they just laughed at me. There's no help. And so I love the fact that Pregnancy Resources comes alongside people, answers a lot of those questions,
That's right.
offers training, and is with them through the toddler years. That's powerful.
Right. And the training and the teaching that we offer isn't that we sat down and said, okay, this is what I think is a good idea. Yeah. It's all backed up by the American Medical Association, the American Pediatrics Association, right? It's been medically cleared by our medical director. So it's not opinion. Yep. It is factual, informational teaching on this is umbilical cord care. This is how to change a diaper. This is how to take your kid's temperature if they're 6 weeks old or 6 months old, because those can look a little bit different, right? And like I said, if you haven't had a newborn, if no one in your family or no one in your friend group has had a newborn, who are you going to ask? You can ask Google, but YouTube isn't always completely correct. So,
And it's not as comforting as having somebody there in the flesh that can help out.
That's right. And all of our classes are done, or most of our classes are done in a group setting. So it's not awkward, me and you, and you're the expert, and I'm the kid that knows nothing, or the woman that knows nothing. It is a parent that has been through it and other new and emerging parents that are just trying to figure it out. So along with that education, you have that support system.
And there's a lot in common in
Absolutely.
that room, so you feel comfortable. Yeah. Now, when you have people come in and they feel like they're in that crisis moment, like I can't do this. I can't let my friends know. I don't want my parents to know. Or, whatever it is. What is often the determining factor of whether they continue with the pregnancy or they terminate the pregnancy?
Sure. So for us, one of the things that we have found is most impactful is that ultrasound. Because it's 2021 and people still don't understand basic fetal development. Most people don't understand at 5 weeks and 6 days, you have an independent heart that's beating. You have your own blood source that is circulating through that teeny tiny little human body. And so when we can get women and men, or women and their support support system, because it may be her mom or it may be her best friend and not the father of the baby, depending on what the situation is. But when we can get those people into the room and show them an image on the screen where they see that's not tissue, that's a teeny tiny child. There's the heartbeat. I recognize the heartbeat. I can see the heartbeat tracing. That knowledge is powerful.
Wow.
And you can't forget what you've just seen, what you've just learned. That's one of the things that has been so frustrating for us is women who are, and men who are post-abortive, who come through our ministry for a following pregnancy and say, I had no idea.
Wow.
Because in truth, a medical provider who offers abortions or abortion services doesn't necessarily walk you through, this is what's going to happen.
Yep.
This is where you are in the pregnancy. This is what's happening developmentally. And this is what the process will be. And so we want women and men to understand through science, right? This is what is happening right now in your body. You're not going to be a parent. You are a parent.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a child. There is a child.
Yeah.
It's teeny tiny. It can't function outside the room right now, but that's an autonomous human that's living. And when people see that, it changes everything. It really does. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had a family in who have a 1-year-old facing a pregnancy they had not intended, right? She's just getting ready to go back to work. He's just got his feet under him in a good job that has the potential to go far, and they're pregnant. And they were planning an abortion, had an abortion scheduled, came in for their ultrasound, specifically because they needed to know how far along they were. Different parts of the pregnancy are different types of abortion procedures. And when they saw their child on the screen, that's exactly what they said. That's our child on the screen.
Wow.
Right? And instantly, change of heart, change of mind, chose life for that child. Knowing, wow, is it going to be complicated? And wow, do we have a lot to get in place? But they saw life. They understand, right?
Yeah.
They understand. So,
Many of my family members had babies at a young age or, in inconvenient times. And now as the kids are older, whether they're 4 or 5, whatever, they look at that child and say, I couldn't imagine life without them.
Right.
And I think that's the key is don't put all the emphasis on the situation you're facing right now, but understand this is a lifetime
Right.
With a mother or a father and a child. You have an opportunity to mentor and to pour into another human being. And that is such a gift that God gives us. And even though your situation might not be the most optimum situation right now, God can work things out.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of having a supernatural God involved in our lives. And maybe you're in that situation. We would love to pray with you. We'd love to come alongside you. Pregnancy Resources is here. But certainly don't put the decisions of what you're going to do today all based on the moment and the fear that you're having. Man, think ahead to all of those moments of that little kid's first steps, the first words, mommy, the first words, daddy, those moments where they ride their bike for the first time, where they no longer have training wheels. And I think it's an incredible honor to be a parent. And it's certainly been exciting in my life. It wasn't always at the ideal time. I remember when we got pregnant with our second, my mom said, "You're having another one already?
Yes.
What about the one you got?" And just that moment of realization that there's going to be another little human being walking around in our house, and so whether you're married and prepared for it or whether it's unexpected, it can be a scary venture, but it becomes a whole lot less scary the minute they fall asleep on your shoulder and that little heart, you can feel their little heartbeat, or they drool on you. Or whatever it is. It's just those little moments that make the big impact. So I want to encourage you that this is only the beginning of an exciting adventure, having a new child. So tell me a little bit more about the men's classes, because there's so many places that focus on the women, and it intrigues me that you guys have the men's classes as well. I think that's so key and so vital.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. So we have a developing men's initiative. It has been in place for at least 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was not the brainchild of this. I've just had the opportunity with my team to really start to flesh out how can we do this even better.
Yeah.
We know that God intends for every child to have a mom and a dad,
Yeah.
right? We serve differently, we serve uniquely. And regardless of what that relationship is between the mom and the dad, the child needs for both of those parents to show up.
Yes.
And so we have dads classes specifically for dads that are taught by dads. And in fact, women are not allowed. Men can come to any parenting class. They can come to the healthy pregnancies class. They can come to the baby basics class. When it's time for the men's classes to happen, the men's mentoring to happen, we just smile and say, you can't go in. They don't even let me in, except when I have the pizza. Then they let me in.
Yeah, exactly. Men will always let you in for
That's
food.
right. That's right. But what we're looking to do is equip men in a safe space where a man who is already father can talk with a man who's going to be a father, or maybe is early in his fatherhood journey, and just have some honest conversations about what it looks like to be a dad. Anyone can contribute and make a baby. You got to choose to show up and be a father every day. Right.
That's so true.
And so we have 2 different classes that we offer right now. One is called Being a Dad, and the other one is called Dr. Dad. Being a Dad is an 8-session class, and the Dr. Dad is a 4-session class. And it is all about embracing fatherhood. And it is so exciting to see those dads connect with those mentors, even outside of the class, and follow up with, we have one dad and his mentor right now that his little guy is 6 or 7 months old, and they continue to have follow-up classes even after all of the classes are done, because now I have this 6-month-old living in my house, and it's changed the dynamic of my relationship with my fiance, and it's sticky and it's complicated, and I think I'm screwing up and I just want to give up. And he has that man in his life who can say, I believe in you, and you can figure this out. And for many of the men who walk through our doors, they haven't necessarily had men in their life to live by example what fatherhood can be.
Yeah.
And so we are just continuing to recruit men volunteers to continue to get the good curriculum in place. We've adapted when we offer things for men's schedules because a lot of our men work full time. And so we do stuff in the evenings and we do stuff on the weekends, and we always have food because people come when you have food, right? I'm a better participant when I have a snack. And most people are. And so, and then blessing them with diapers and with car seats and with the ability to provide clothing for their children. We had one dad who actually took our classes while he was incarcerated.
Wow.
And then his wife brought their child to visit him in the outfits that he had provided because he had taken classes while he was incarcerated.
That's awesome.
Right. There's so much he can't do while he is facing the consequences of some of his choices. But this is one way that he could show up and support his wife and support his child.
And contribute. That's awesome.
And contribute.
In the culture that we live in, there's often even a process of minimizing the father's role in things. But in being in youth ministry for probably 15, 16 years, and now in a lead pastor role and working with people that are broken and hurting. And I've found the importance of a father in the relationship. And I just want to speak to you guys right now. Maybe you're a dad that's had a kid and you're not involved. Man, do it whatever it takes to restore that relationship. And I know it might be rough with mom or the baby mom or whatever, but it's worth the fight to have a relationship with your kid. No one can replace a father.
That's right.
And no one can replace the mother. Each has a specific role, and you have an important role in your child's life. And it's one that comes with, certainly it's an investment, and it costs you something, but the reward is endless. And so I just want to encourage our people to get involved. We need dads involved in their kids' lives and in the households. Too many households at night go to bed without a dad in the home.
That's right.
And
it's a
that's gotta
third.
change.
It's a third of all children that live in a household where there is no man present.
Wow.
And if they're a non-white child, it's 50%,
Yeah.
right? And fatherlessness is probably the biggest challenge that our country faces right now.
It is.
Because fatherlessness
Yeah.
is what cascades into so many other issues and complications.
Yeah.
And we can't fix all of that.
Yep.
But what we can do is give that man a little bit more confidence and a little bit more knowledge to step in a way that maybe he hasn't before.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I know there's situations where the dad has just refused to be involved, and the mom is playing both roles. And
Absolutely.
oftentimes the moms are doing a great job with what they have. I just spoke with a single mom this morning,
Mhm.
and she's making dinner, she's doing laundry, she's working a full-time job,
Mhm.
she's also volunteering in ministry, she
Mhm.
has to help with homework, she all of the above.
Yes.
And it can become very tiring because she's doing all of it and disciplining, trying to
Yes.
give direction to her boys.
Yes.
And she's doing a great job with what she has.
And that is where the church relationship with pregnancy resources is such a beautiful thing, because in our churches, we have godly men
Yeah.
who have the time and the ability to step into those gaps.
Yeah.
Right. And is it the same as being the biological father? No, it's not. But I'm going to tell you, God gave me some spiritual moms.
Yep.
God has given me some spiritual grandmas and some
Yep.
spiritual grandpas, not people related by blood, but people who poured into me as if my life and my eternity depended on it.
Yeah.
And so that is why we love that we are able to partner with you, because there are things that we can do as a para-ministry, but there are gaps that we cannot fill.
Yeah.
And so that is why it is so important that ministries like Pregnancy Resources and churches like New Life partner.
Yep. And that leads us to the next thing. We're going to be partnering with you guys. My heart has been with Pregnancy Resources for a long time.
Yes.
I've loved what you guys are doing. And I'm excited to announce that you guys will be at our East Moline Quad City Mission
Yes.
location. So it's a non-denominational thing. It's not really a church ministry. It's a ministry to the community. And we thought, what better place to have a mobile unit, hopefully maybe a permanent unit in the future.
Maybe someday,
at some
yeah.
point. But it's an area where I think it can be very beneficial to the community. And we're excited about that. So do you want to kind of talk about your mobile unit and what that looks like? in East Moline?
Yes, I would love to. So we have a mobile medical unit. It is a 2016 Mercedes Sprinter that is fully customized. So we are able to provide pregnancy tests and ultrasounds right there on the unit. There's a 42-inch screen, so
Wow.
the patient and the partner can look up and see their baby
I think ours was
bigger
like
than
this
life
big.
size. Yeah.
It was like, oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah. And it's fantastic. And it allows us to take vital early pregnancy medical services to people who may not be able to get to us.
Great.
And your campus in East Moline, not that far unless you don't have a car.
Yeah.
Or on a day like today, unless your car has no air conditioning.
Yeah. There is a bus stop right in front.
That's right.
So you can even take
That's
a
right.
bus
Yeah,
to
right
that
to there.
location.
Yeah. So we are planning on being there. We're hoping for late August or early September
It's exciting.
is when we're planning on being there. I think we're going to be there on Thursdays.
Yep.
And it's going to be an afternoon evening thing. So we'll be there probably from about 11 to about 5,
Yep.
just to be able to offer services to the community, be a presence. Our mobile medical unit, when it's out, also has emergency diapers and some limited clothing.
Nice.
So if somebody's like, hey, I seen the unit and I don't need a pregnancy test, but I could really use some size 3 diapers,
Yeah.
they'll be able to knock on the door and get some diapers.
Fantastic.
Just loving on people, blessing them, trying to, like I said, fill in those gaps where medical services are not necessarily there, and have a biblically based, life affirming perspective to what people see and hear.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, Trish, if there's someone watching that's like you, serving in a church, and you just feel like there has to be more outside the church, I want to be in the trenches, so to speak.
Yes.
How can they get involved with Pregnancy Resources like you did in 2009?
Sure. So Pregnancy Resources, we're your urban missionaries that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to go to Africa. You don't have to go to Ecuador. You can go to Moline.
Yeah, right.
And so if people are interested in getting involved, they can go to our website. They can go to qcpregnancypartners.org to get more information about us. or they can shoot us an email at info@qcpregnancy.org. We have a volunteer training that's coming up in October. I want to say it's the first week, but I'm not the Bible, so that could be a little wrong. But it's like the first week in October. And really what we're looking for is people who can volunteer during the day, in the afternoons on the mobile medical, or some people that will be willing to volunteer with us on Saturdays, because in October, late September, early October, we're also going to be opening our Moline Center on Saturdays for services from 10 to 2. And so we're going to need people that say, I can give you 2 Saturdays a month. I'm willing to learn how to answer phones or pass out baby clothes or teach a class, or because without our volunteers, ministry just isn't possible.
Absolutely.
So yeah, our website or info@qcpregnancy.org will get you hooked up on information. If you're interested in joining us as a prayer partner, we have about 350 people that pray for us every week. We send out a specific email every week that says, here's 3 or 4 ways that you can pray for us right now. Here's 2 or 3 things that God did this week in the center, right? It's not put out on social media. It's just our prayer warriors covering the spiritual battle that happens every day. And if we're looking for 200 more, we'd love to have 500 people committed to praying for us.
I get those text messages. Hey, we're praying for this young couple that came in. They're considering an abortion.
Yeah, so important. And again, if you're interested in doing that, info@qcpregnancy.org, just your name and your contact, and we'll get you signed up on that list. It goes out every Thursday afternoon.
That's great. And if they want to donate or contribute diapers, money, or any other gift, they can do so online or drop them off at the Moline location?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can drop off donations at the Davenport Center or the Moline Center. Or if you want to give financially online, you can go to our website, qcpregnancypartners.org. There's a text to give number that you can text to, or you can make an online donation, or just let us know that you want us to send you some paperwork if you're a traditional checks kind of person. We'd love to get you signed up.
That's awesome. Well, Trish, thanks so much for your time and telling us a little bit more about Pregnancy Resources. We are so excited to partner with you in the future. And I just want to encourage you, if any of that ministers to you in any way, or maybe you're one of them people that are you're scared, reach out for help. We all need help at times. You know, I need help at times. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. And if you want to volunteer, we'd love to see more people get involved in this ministry. What a great ministry right here in the Quad Cities. So you don't have to go far to be a missionary. So thanks for joining us today. God bless you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day.